And now I believe Dennis had to sign off. Dennis McGurk with RTI is very involved in the North Carolina Center for Optimizing Military Performance. And we're going to just bring up Dennis's slides, and I'll run through them, because as part of this effort, the University of Iowa is joining with the North Carolina Center for Optimizing Military Performance, because so much of what they do in North Carolina corresponds and matches what the University of Iowa and our consortium and our partners are doing as well. So it's a very good fit. NC Comp as the acronym. There's a number of organizations affiliated with it. A lot of top researchers out of the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. You have the overall North Carolina Defense Alliance, and they put on various conferences, webcasts, and events, and their industry partners and their touch base with the military families and footprint in North Carolina is very significant. So we're very fortunate to be partnered with them. So next slide, please. So Dennis's favorite remarks about NC Comp and their focus specifically on the human is, hey, we know more about all of our vehicles and platforms and how they operate and how to supply them, and when they run out of gas and when they need an oil change and all that stuff than we do about our soldiers. And so for everyone that is part of this summit and everyone that's interested in this, we are the team, really no one else. We're the team that is going to be leading this revolution in soldier and human performance, understanding it, predicting it, being able to provide more accurate interventions and predictions of how humans perform. So, we're going into multi-domain operations and future operations, which we don't really know what that looks like now. We're going to have to do it for a couple of years until we figure it out. So we want to create all the systems in place that we can rapidly react to what the future holds for us. I mentioned the Defense Alliance of North Carolina. They've done a lot of work on this, and they're kind of clustering around technologies that they present to DoD: advanced manufacturing, autonomy, data knowledge management, and human performance. And they've just recently had more focused effort on human performance. Next slide, please. So this is their kind of overview, providing kind of a legend. It may be hard to see everything, but they're trying to pull together all the military installations across North Carolina, the higher education groups, research and education groups, and industry that are around there, and just provide a coordinated venue. So the work that they started doing became so effective that they really opened up their viewfinder, and now Iowa is bringing in a technology that some of the DoD partners in North Carolina were looking for. And so in a very collaborative fashion, RTI North Carolina reached out and said, hey, in order to be successful, we have to be a collaborative partner. And I think that's one of the keys to success moving forward is understanding what is your niche and your discriminating technology, and then being able to work in a very open and willing fashion. And Adam Farrow from Spear referenced that. Kristen and Mo from WHOOP, have referenced that. And there's a growing consensus around, hey, we've got to be able to work together well, and we believe that that benefits both the warfighter and the participants. Next slide. So just some additional background. The other elements that I haven't mentioned that are part of the Defense Alliance in North Carolina. So North Carolina Biotech, the Fort Bragg Research Institute, and others are coming together to apply solutions, not just to DoD, but also to fire rescue and others in North Carolina. So ARL, Army Research Lab, Research Office is involved. The Medical Research Division, MRDC, they're working closely. Our groups have worked together, and we've actually submitted proposals together to the via the MTech Consortium, the Military Technology Enterprise Consortium. So that's been some actual results come out of this. Also working across with the specials that are located there, USASOC, MARSOC, NSW, 82nd Airborne, and work with Holistic Health and Fitness. So it's a great partnership. Next slide, please. This gives more background on to their motivation. You know, it's truly a coalition of the willing that are wanting to improve human performance. And we've mentioned the WHO, obviously the where is in the name, and they've had some meetings real time, right? So they've been following up with some quarterly meetings in 2021 and actually providing opportunities for industry members to present to DoD. Next slide. And these are some of the areas that they're working. I think next year we're going to be focusing more on the cognitive side of the modeling. So on the virtual human models, the digital twins, we presented a lot of information on how the technology exists to be biomechanically accurate, to have accurate physiology in the human model. The technology exists on the look of the human. And so I think the next frontier to provide input on is going to be on cognitive functioning. But you can see the rest of the areas that they work on. Next slide, please. And then what they're trying to mix all those and provide outputs. You know, how do we increase fitness, cognitive ability, mental health, getting into nutrition? What's the role of wearables, data analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learning? They're all working together, and they're a great venue for that. Next slide. Okay, this is an eye chart, a detail slide on plank holders and who's there from a DoD development and T&E environment, and from a research perspective. So North Carolina A&T, Duke, Wake Forest, you get obviously those lead North Carolina institutions involved, but some of the interesting fitness partners like TRX, Elite is in there, and then DoD entities, and Iowa is not on the list because we didn't get the paperwork signed in time, or by we I mean Travis didn't. So we're going to be part of NC Comp. We'll make it on their next slide, and we hope that a lot of the partners that are on this call will also strongly consider working with Dennis and being part of NC Comp. Next slide, please. The value, you know, they're providing the connective tissue from industry and academia into DoD, and they have a lot of knowledge with various SMEs and others there. Next slide. Okay, so I had to cover down on Dennis's slides. I really encourage everyone to go direct to Dennis and get more information.